Hello, everyone. We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm always excited. I know. And our guest is here. Hi, Dr. Una. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Excited, as always, to be having this conversation with you, Dr. Una. Thank you so much for coming on and welcome.
Thank
Welcome,
you for
welcome.
having me. I've been looking forward to it too.
All right, awesome. For those of you who are watching, welcome live, welcome on replay. We're having conversations today on how to transform your life in 90 days with the amazing Dr. Neka Unachuku, also known as Dr. Una. I'm a big fan of this woman. And sometimes I'm like, how do I introduce her? So first of all, she's an amazing human being. She's a physician turned entrepreneur. She's a speaker. She's one of my mentors. She's a number one best-selling author. Did I mention that she's one of my mentors? She's also a host of a top 100 podcast, and she's also a business coach for physicians, amongst the many other hats she wears. She's a pastor. She's a mentor. Man, Dr. Una, you're an amazing human, and I'm honored and delighted to have you on with us today.
Thank you for having me. And if you introduce me like that, I have to take you everywhere I go.
That can be worked
That can
out.
be worked
All
out.
right. All right. For those of you watching today, we're talking about how to transform your life in 90 days. If you know someone who could use this conversation, please share it with them, tag them in the comments. I know it's holiday season. Everyone is getting ready for, what to do around Christmas, but this is an important conversation to have. And I believe this early as well. So, Dr. Una, thank you for coming. And I know I introduced you, but is there anything else you want to add? And, I was going to ask you, who you are and what you do and why you do the things you do. But I think we'll be here a long time if you had to explain like why you do
I think
all the things
so.
you
I
do.
think so. Yeah. We could take your introduction.
Okay, so but why do you do the things like you do? Maybe not in specific detail, but what like you extend yourself in so many ways. Why do you do the things you do?
Yeah, I think at the core of it is when I'm done and it's time for me to leave this planet, I want to die with a smile on my face. I want to die knowing that I explored all my potentials. I helped as many people as I could help. I became everything that I could be, and I'm done. Like I'm done. Goodbye. And so what that does is it puts me in a position where I value a day, I value a week, I value a month, 90 days. Are you kidding? Like we can do so much in 90 days. And it has put me in a position where it's easy for me to say, well, easier for me to say no to distractions. It's easier for me to say no to shiny objects because I'm like, I'm burning daylight here. I have something to accomplish, not just accomplish, but finish before I leave. So that's a driver. I have a very long term perspective.
Okay. So we're talking 90 days. Why 90? Why not 89 or 92 or 20 or 30? What's so important? What's so exciting about 90 days?
Well, so this is a start of that. In 2015, I sat down about this time of the year, December. I'm going to write my goals because it's going to be my best year yet and all of those things. And I wrote my 2016 goals. And then for some reason, right after I was done, I saw my 2015 goals. They were the same. They were the same goals. Meanwhile, I had worked hard all year. I was productive all year. I was doing all the things. And I was like, 365 days is just too long because what happens when you have 12 months? I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Right. And so I started looking for a new timeline. So 30 days is short because like if you have to build a new habit, you have to create some big wins. It takes a little longer than 30 days. And so I said, I'm going to start pursuing a year in 90-day blocks, which gives me 4 years in one. Right. And so people set goals once a year. I set goals 4 times a year. People say Happy New Year once a year. I say Happy New Year 4 times a year. And what it does is it puts me in a place where I'm productive.
I love it. I will start pursuing my goals in 3 month blocks, and so you have 4 years rolled out in one. Now, when you were reflecting on the goals, because some people are looking now, Dr. Una, and they're like, well, I had fancy goals earlier in the year. They did a glimpse before this live, and they saw that they hadn't quite moved the needle forward. What would you say to that person? Like, okay, you actually looked at yours, earlier, a month before the year's ending, and you realize, oh my God, I made a mess. I didn't do the things I said. Any words of, okay, this is what you do to move forward from there for that person who's watching and feeling like, well, I'm where you were, many years ago.
Yeah, I mean, today's day one.
I
Today's day
like
one. So I have a habit of not crying over spilled milk. I'm just not going to do it. Because if you think about it, if I spend today worrying about what I didn't do yesterday, I lost yesterday and I'm losing today. Like I'm actively losing today. And if you think about it, time is a construct. Somebody decided this is the beginning of the year. It used to be back in the day, the beginning of the year was March, right?
Mm,
Somebody decided this is the beginning of the year. Somebody decided, like, it's not a thing. So whenever you wake up, it's morning. Whenever you find yourself, you're like, okay, today's day one. And so I'm not going to, like, when I was done with that, what it made me do is it made me make a decision. Okay, I'm going to live 90 days at a time. And I didn't wait for the new year. I started then, right? So you've heard me say this many times. There's absolutely nothing magical that happens December 31st.
yes.
Nothing. It's just a day like every other day. And the next day is January 1st, which happens to be a new year. That's it. Nothing happens. And so, whatever it is you think you will do in the new year, do it
Mhm.
now. So don't, I guess my point is don't cry over spilled milk. This thing you discovered, some people don't discover it till they're 90. You're discovering
Mm,
it now. So you're blessed. Go do the thing, Like it's not a problem.
I like that. Quick reset. And you're right. The euphoria of New Year's, "Woo!" And then it's New Year, and it's like, okay, so not the Lord has made. We're still here. Not really that, but I like it. So the perspective shift is very powerful. Today's a new day. Today's day one. So go ahead and start. Now, what would you say is the first step? Because we're talking about transforming your life in 90 days, and I'm sure people are like literally, okay, 90 days from today will be March 3rd or 4th, thereabout. So, what's the first step to transforming your life even before making a plan, would you say?
So the first step would be to see the picture of where you're going, right?
Okay.
Like, I want to go somewhere and I want to plan to get there. The first step is put the address in the GPS. If the address is not in the GPS, nothing else works, right? Is to start creating a picture of where you would rather be. What would I want my family to look like? What would I want my health to look like? What would I want my finances to look like? You got to paint a picture. Now, when we were children, we were very good at imagining. You ask a kid, what do you want to be? I want to be an astronaut. I'm going to go to Mars. I'm going to do all those things. And then as you grow older, life beats all that stuff out of you. And by the time we become adults, visualizing, imagining, creating mental pictures of a preferred future, those become things that are kind of tough to do. But if you're going to be a person whose life changes every 90 days, you're going to have to go back to that. You may say, but I don't know how to imagine. Like, I don't know how to do that. I haven't set goals in forever. I don't know how to envision. You practice like anything else. You put in the reps, you practice. Like, what if I wasn't in debt? What if my business did 1 million in revenue? What if I lost 20 pounds? Like, allow yourself go there. Allow yourself go there, but that's the starting point. You can't necessarily go where you haven't seen, right? So you have to start seeing that. You have to start
All
seeing
right.
that.
And I have another hiccup. And I would say this, I love this about you, Dr. Olu. You make things sound very simple. Now, there's still work. This one makes you work. But you make it sound very simple. So for someone who's watching, who's like, well, how much do I dream? because I don't want to set myself up for failure. I don't want to extend myself. I don't want to, people think it's a little, it's a little hush push. Like how much do you tend to, like, how far do you dream, or how high do you dream? What do you tend to say to someone asking that question?
Yeah, so I'll tell you two things. The first thing is, when I adopted this attitude of constantly going after a better future, I had to give up this concept of what if I fail, right? Because the truth of the matter is, if you're dreaming, even if you don't accomplish the dream, you'll be better off than where you are right now. So there's no losing, there's no failure. It's an experiment. We pick something, we give it our best shot. We celebrate what the win was, and we move on. Like, I have set so many goals that I did not accomplish. Okay, at least not in the timeline I want. Let me tell you, I never shed a tear, not one tear, because in doing this work, I have become a person who went from socially awkward, super shy, introverted introvert to somebody who runs multiple companies, right? I have gone from someone who was afraid of speaking to speaking on like amazing stages, right? So all these things have changed because I dared to dream. So I don't see a goal not being accomplished as a failure. I don't. And I want to invite everyone to like ditch that thought, because if you set a goal and you go all out to accomplish it, you will be in a better spot than if you did not set the goal.
Mm,
Period. So I don't see it as failure. That's the first thing. The second thing is the way I think about goals that, like this preferred future is, I use the rubber band. So you want it to be something that will stretch you, where you're like, okay, I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to change the way I act. I'm going to have to change the way I believe. I'm going to need some help to pull this off. So it's a stretch, but it's not like breaking the rubber band. Okay. So the example I always use is, if I say in 2 years, I'll be the president of the United States, that's breaking the rubber band,
mm,
because there are things that need to happen before that can happen. There are many transitions that need to happen. I'm not going to go from entrepreneur to president in 2 years. Do you see what I'm saying? But
true,
then if I
true.
decided that I wanted to be mayor, that's a stretch, but you never know. Do
Mm,
you see what I'm
mm,
saying? So you want to stretch the rubber band, but you don't want to break the rubber band, right? And again, it's all an experiment. Like, if you set a goal and you chase after it and you realize in 90 days, girl, that was too much. There's no way you could have done that in 90 days. Like, cry me a whole river, right? You just adjust the goal. Meanwhile, in the meantime, you've made a lot of progress and you keep going. If we can choose to see it as an experiment that we're constantly working on every 90 days, then we're in a much better position and we start accomplishing so much more. If we set little goals and hit them, so what? We didn't move, we didn't change. Like, what does it matter?
mm.
Doesn't matter, right? Yeah.
So set stretchy goals. I hear that. And also, don't waste a failure. The failure is never wasted, meaning the quote unquote failure will actually bring out something. But Dr. Una, how do you stay in that mindset? Because, I think there's a mindset of, mindset muscle building in that, where you're constantly seeing that, not constantly, you set a goal, you're close, and there's something about, man, that competitive spirit, you want to beat yourself at your own game. How do you stay seated in the, okay, I may not have reached it, but who I've become is better? How do you stay cognizant of that?
Well, I think for one, that's my intention. In the beginning, like, I'm gonna give it my best shot. In fact, you know what? Let me explain this. Right? There's a story about a king called David. Okay, and David commits adultery, if you will, with somebody else's wife. Okay, and he does that. The woman becomes pregnant, and God tells him the child is gonna die. He goes, he stops eating, he's fasting, he's crying, he's praying, he's doing all the things. Save my baby. Okay? The kid dies. The servants are like, oh my goodness, he hasn't eaten since the kid became sick and all this. What will he do when he finds out that the child is dead? And he's heard that he saw that they were whispering and all. So he was like, is the child dead? He said, yes. The most shocking thing happens. The man gets out, gets up, takes a shower, puts on all his cologne and does his thing and asks them to bring him food. Why? I gave it my best shot.
Mm,
So I my intention is to give it my best shot. If I gave it my best shot, I won. Do you see
mm,
what I'm saying? Like the win is I had the guts to dare to believe something big, and I had the guts to go after it. In doing that, I will become a different person and I'll have bigger results than if I didn't dream. So I go after going all in on it. If I did, I won. Right? So it's almost like the goal changed. The goal is to set the goal and to give it my all. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's one thing. That's one thing. So I learned that from him. It was so I was like, what? But that's what he did. The second thing is I surround myself with winners. I surround myself with winners because let me tell you the thing about winners, they're always setting big goals. They're always giving it their all, and many times they don't hit it. Think about people in the NBA, right? The NBA champions don't win every game. They don't win every game. They lose so many games, but they keep going from quote unquote disappointment to disappointment without losing enthusiasm, right? They keep going at it. They keep going at it. So the ultra successful are not thrown off by not hitting goals, right? The rest,
yeah.
the rest of the folks can be thrown off, but the ultra successful are not. They keep at it until, right? So we set them, we give it our best shot. We will be really rewarded for doing it, both in who we become and the results that we do get. And if we didn't hit a Crimea River. So when I published the first business book that I wrote, the Entre MD Method, the goal was to do 1,000 book sales in a week. The average nonfiction book in the US will do 250 copies in the first year. I was like, let's do 1,000 a week. Okay. I came up with 10 strategies. We went all in on all 10 strategies, the social media, the email, the advanced readers who are also promoting it, all the things. We put everything out there. I ended up with 850 copies. Well, cry me a whole river, right? Like, so what do you think I did? I celebrated the 850 because if I didn't set the goal for 1,000, if I sold 200, I'd be like, look, what people sell in a year, I sold in a week, yay. But instead of 250, I ended up with 850. So I had no regrets whatsoever because I set a worthy goal and I went all in on it. Now, am I saying there are not times I hit my goal? Like I hit my goals, but if we allow not hitting a goal affect us, we will never set the goals required
Mm,
to force us
mm.
to become who we need to be. Like we just won't. Right. So the opportunity cost of not setting goals, like worthy goals, is so high. I'd rather not hit it than not set it. I would rather not hit it than not set it and go all in on it. I'll go all in on it. The worst that will happen is I don't hit it, but I would be different. My actions will be different. My experience would be different. And I would have set my business up to do better. I would have set my life to do up better the next 90-day round. So it doesn't stop me. It doesn't please me. Never has.
You said something very powerful. You said many things are very powerful, but you said if we allow the fear of not hitting it drive us, we will always set goals that do not allow us to become.
Our goals
I.
become a lid.
Mm-hmm.
Small goals
Wow.
are lid. They're lid. Like, don't do it.
Wow.
This one precious, beautiful life, use it to do something significant. And it doesn't have to be what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be what you're doing. It needs to be what you feel like you're wired to do. Do that. Go all in. It's one life. This is not the rehearsal.
Yes, ma'am. This is not a gig. This is it. Um, so interesting. I'm going to go back and re-listen to my own podcast. This re-download that because that was powerful. But you said something, Dr. No, you said you had strategies, you had the things. Can you discuss the connect between, okay, I've set the picture of the goal. This is what I want. What's next?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a lot of fun. I'll tell you why. It's only 3% of the world's population that will set goals. which is so crazy when you think about it, but it's 3%. So for everyone watching, just type this in the chat. I'm part of the 3%. Okay. Let's see if we can get that number higher. But it's about 3%. But usually what people do is they treat it like index funds. They set it and forget it. So I set the goal, I walk away, right? And it will magically happen and stuff like that. But I want to tell you the way I think about goals. Okay. I don't think we have one set of goals. I think we have three sets of goals. Okay. I'll explain it. The first goal we have is what we traditionally know as goals. I'll use numbers because they're easy to measure. Okay. I want to make $500,000 in revenue. Wonderful. Okay. That's a goal. Now, the second set of goals we need to have is the B goals. Who do I need to become to create $500,000 in revenue? Right? What kind of mindset do I need to have? What kind of habits do I need to have? What kind of skills do I need to have? What kind of network do I need to have? So I have to change. If we set goals and we are unwilling to change, we're not going to hit those goals. For instance, I talk to entrepreneurs all the time because of my line of work. And I would hear people say things like this: I want to start this business, but I don't like marketing. I want to start this business, but I don't really want to deal with people. I'm like, as long as you are resisting the change required for the goal that you set, you will not accomplish that goal. So you need to have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself and say this: for the person who already has what I'm trying to have, how do they think? What skills do they have? What habits do they have? What network do they have? And you start building that. Otherwise, the goal over here of 500,000 in revenue is a fantasy. It's a dream. It's a wish. It's something for Santa Claus. That was a little rough, right? But it's the truth. Is it just a little bit okay? But it's the truth because a year is too precious to waste. Like imagine setting goals for 2026 and then also being in resistance to all the changes you have to make to pull that off. Like think about it. I want my marriage to be better. I want it to be XYZ. Wonderful. Let me tell you what most people do. So my spouse has to do this. No. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I want to have this kind of relationship with my kid. Wonderful. Who do I need to become? I want to be the kind of person who has this much in investments, but right now you have a habit of overspending. That habit will forbid you from hitting that goal. So I must change to become the person who spends less than I make. Like that transition must happen. So I have my have goals, which are the traditional goals, 500,000 revenue. I have my B goals. For instance, I don't like selling. Not with $500,000 as a goal. You're gonna sell. And it's a skill. You acquire the skill, but you can't be in resistance. If you stay the same, your results have to stay the same. If you stay the same, your results must stay the same. Okay. So have goals, be goals, then do goals. Okay. You gotta do some stuff. You gotta do some stuff. So the question then becomes: if I wanted to generate 500,000 in revenue, what do I need to do? Right? How much selling do I need to do? What critical hire? Who's the next team member I need to bring on? How many referral sources do I need? How do I need to take care of the clients that I already have? These are things that need to be done. So the only evidence that you're committed to your have goals is that you are willing to become the person who does the thing that makes that goal inevitable. If you're not willing to become and you're not willing to do, you are not committed to the goals. You don't really want them. It's a wish, it'll be nice. Like if I get $500,000 in revenue, it'll be nice. But if you're committed, like we are getting this done, I'm gonna become and I'm going to do. We can't be in resistance here. These two things are part of the package. So when you think about goals, it's like it's like triplets, right? They go together. But it's not one or the other, is these three things. And this is why for a lot of people, goal setting is an exercise that does not create results because it's a wish list. It doesn't follow through, right? It doesn't follow through. That was a
I'm
lot, huh?
still yeah, I'm still digesting what you said.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this and it costs what it costs. The topic after all is how to transform your life in 90 days. So it's have, be, and do. Um, thank you. I'm chewing that as I'm listening. But now, for someone who's watching, who's like, well, when the results feel slow, I've done the things I kind of, I did the have, I, I'm kind of doing the be, and then I'm working on the do, but sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't lost all that weight already. And I went to the gym 5 times last week.
5 times.
Man, so how can someone stay motivated when results feel slow? Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to live a life of significance, if you want to become all you can be, if you want to be a person whose life changes every 90 days, and it can, you must remove the association between motivation and your actions. Motivation is not required. It is not required. It is not a requirement. You must not feel like it. You don't have to feel like it. You don't have to go like, ooh, I just feel, you don't. It's not a requirement. We don't do things because we're motivated. We do things because they must be done. And we have all done this. You're a mother, you have a baby. You don't wake up at 2 a.m. to feed the baby because you're motivated. You wake up at 2 a.m. to feed the baby because it must be done. You work a job, you wake up in the morning, you're not motivated. You go to work because the bills must be paid, right? You may have times you don't feel like taking a shower, but you shower.
You do.
Yeah, yeah, shower. So we have to uncouple our actions from motivation. It's not required. It's not required. So you switch from motivation to discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. And I know it doesn't sound cute and awesome and like something on Instagram or whatever, but it's the truth. Think about anybody who's done something great. Do we really think Olympic athletes that they practice when they feel like? Like is that when they practice when they practice? There's it's not when they feel like. Now, having said that, can you do things to motivate yourself? Yes. Like I would listen to people who are doing things much bigger than I'm doing. That makes me go like, girl, just get your act together. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those things are motivating. Autobiographies, biographies, they're very motivating for me. Being around people who are in the thing, transforming their lives every 90 days is motivating for me, right? So I do that. Sometimes, like, we had this whole challenge of read your Bible a year and stuff like that. I literally got a printout that had every chapter. There's over 1,000 chapters, right? And when I read a chapter, I'll check it off. I like the dopamine hit. It's motivating for me, right? So I do things to motivate
You
myself.
gotta share that, Doc. You gotta share that.
I did share it. Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll go back. We'll go
I did share. But so I would do things like that. And
back.
but at the same time, motivation is like icing on the cake. It's not a requirement. If you want to be great. Now, if you want to have like cruise control through life, wait for motivation. But if you want to change every 90 days, if you want to explore your potential, see who you could become, and all of those things, motivation is not. Just uncouple it. It's not a thing.
Wow. You didn't you can't you didn't come here to play, Dr. Una. So yeah. Motivation is not a requirement. If you want to be great, it is simply the icing on the cake. And it costs what it costs if you want to be great, if you want to transform yourself every quarter. of the year. Motivation cannot be the necessary requirement. But you were kind in telling us how we can self motivate. So thank you for doing that because it makes the process a little bit easier. You had mentioned also being the company of people who are doing things too as another way to keep you going. Um,
People are the ultimate cheat code. Surround yourself with people who do for fun what you're trying hard to do, right? Surround yourself with people like that. And like you've heard me tell this story, Dr. Tolu. In my second business, I had this thing like, what if we did $1 million a year? I could not see how that was possible. I couldn't see it. So October, I set the goal, like the next year, that's what we'll do. January, we did 120,000. No, we did, I don't remember. January, February, March, we did 120,000. Okay, for the 3 months. So I did the math. I was like, one quarter, 120,000. You multiply that by 4, we're at 480,000. We're not even a half of this said million. And I still could not find a framework. Like, how do I get to a million? And so I go into this meeting, and here comes a lady, and she says, she's 32 years old. Okay, she just had a 4-month-old. Time to share. She says, somebody approached me to buy our business for 9 figures. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, that's a lot of figures. Okay, that's a lot of zeros. I was like, what is going on here? And then she says, but we declined the offer. I'm like, they offered you 100 million at least, right? That's 9 figures. And you declined the offer? I'm like, pray tell. And then she says, because I feel like in a few years we will get there on our own. Because now we're making an easy million a month. So here I was, I couldn't conceptualize a million in a year. And someone comes and says, I'm making not a million a month. She says an easy million a month. Let me tell you what happened after that. I was in Miami. I went to the beach. I walked that beach for 3 hours till I figured out a framework. I was like, I'm going to the beach and I'm going to be there until I figure out how to take us to a million. It took me 3 hours. The third hour, I got it. Went back up, did what I needed to do. That year, we hit $1 million in revenue. What happened? I was in contact with someone who did for fun what I was trying hard to do. So this is why I'm such a big believer in communities. You know that, right? Big believer in communities, big believer in sharing what is happening with your people. So you can see, you're like, wait, they did that? What? What? Yeah. So I can have that. I didn't know, right? Because humans, we're very interesting. Humans are like Play-Doh. You can literally become everything you can become. It doesn't matter how long you've been like, I tried that, it didn't work. I did that, it didn't work. Everybody in my family is this. Everybody, people from my part of the world are like this. None of those things matter. If you can expose yourself to the right environment, you can say yes to chasing worthy goals. If you can do the action, even though you're not motivated, if you can dare to start working on yourself, shifting your mindset, all of that, it will shock you where you can find yourself. It will shock you. We are like Play-Doh. Literally, like you just change. You can change. We are subject to change. So we just go for it.
You can cheat. Were you always like this? Like, is this something you've grown into? Like, for someone who's watching, like, man, Dr. Una, I'm checking, you have one head. But I mean, the things you talk about is out of this world. Like, for someone who's like, man, I wish I had that determination and that strength and that discipline. What would you say to that person, like, to start out with? I know we talked about it a lot, but someone who's watching, like, yeah, I think you're a different breed, Dr. Una. I think you're type excellent. I think you're just, shh, that's not me. I like the stuff live, but I want to do things you're doing. So, Doc, what would you say to that person who's a little intimidated by the challenge of becoming?
Yeah. I would say that being who I am now is not required because I didn't start this way. This is me 15 years into actively doing this.
Wow.
So I'm glad you asked the question, right? That's what's 15 years, a decade and a half. All I am to you is evidence that you can change a lot. Because when I started, again, socially awkward, super shy, introverted, introvert, there would be nothing you could do, Dr. Tolu, to get me on this podcast. Like nothing. There's not a thing you could do. I would not be on a stage. I would not network with anybody. I wouldn't talk with anybody. I wouldn't set goals. I wouldn't do any of because I could not. I couldn't. But I will tell you what you can do. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be as confident as me. I didn't start this way. I wasn't even this way 5 years in, right? Like the way I am is just evidence to you. Oh my goodness. Apparently you can become. That's it. What you need to do now is do something. That's it. You haven't dreamed, it's time to dream. You haven't set goals, it's time to set goals. You have never worked on your mindset, it's time to do that. You stopped reading books, go get them back. There's actions you know you need to take to move your life and your business forward. Start taking them now. It is one step in front of the other. I am not someone who's a genius. I wasn't really confident, all that. I'll tell you what I am. I'm stubborn. I will look for the highest version of an action I can take per time and go all in on it. Somebody else may be doing much bigger things. It's okay. I will find the version I can hold on to and I go for it. And once I do that, I become comfortable with it. I up it. I go for it again. Right? Like, so think about it. It could be, let's talk money just because numbers are easy to measure. You could be in a state where you're like, she's talking about millions. I'm in debt. I have more month left over at the end of my money and all of that. No problem. Go pick up a book, whichever camp you belong to, Dave Ramsey, Ramitz, whichever of them, you pick it up. You start spending less spending less than you make. You start putting money away. What are you doing? You're building a habit. Do you have a million at that point? No, but you've started the journey to that place. Right? You start putting it there. You start dreaming of being out of debt. You start dreaming of being able to make investments. You up level your inner circle, right? So now no longer people are like, yeah, everybody got credit card debt. Nobody could do about it. And all. Like you move away from that to people who are like, no, I can be more than this. I can break the story of my family. I can bring myself to a point where I can create a legacy for my kids and all of that. You bring yourself into that circle. They start rubbing off on you. You you don't have to have everything change today, but you can
Mm.
change your direction today. Change your direction. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about being like me. It's not about that. I'm just an example that you can change. That's it. So change your direction today. Start dreaming different, start becoming different, start acting different. Set the best version of goals you can and go after it. Set a 30-day, 90-day block. Go after it for 90 days and come back and say, huh, interesting. And then you set another one and you go at it. If you do that for 15 years, I mean, I will be looking at you like, who is this person? You're amazing. That's it. That's it. You can just change your direction. That's it. Change your direction.
Dr. Una, we're gonna have to do a part two. This is very deep and so many gems you've dropped. And for the record, for those of you who are watching, I did an investigative, study on Dr. Una. I'm like, man, introverted, intro, what? No, no way. She's on stages. And I did some research. I talked to people who knew her from college days. I got to see people who are like, yeah, we don't like, she's very different. And so that inspired me to even challenge myself to become a better version of me. And that's, as we said earlier, that's the whole point of picking a stretchy goal. Now, one more question, Dr. Una. We're past time, but we're going to do this. What's one thing people can track to stay accountable? Because one of the things in working with you is accountability is a big, big, big deal. Is a way of, but how for someone who's saying, well, I don't have your drive, you're successful, of course, people are going to be around you. And so for someone who's looking to have someone kind of hold their hand or encourage them, and how would you say they go about um, creating systems that keep them accountable?
Yeah. So when I started, actually, I started by holding people accountable to the things that I wanted to be held accountable to. I'll explain what I mean. All right. So, for instance, this happened I was listening to something and somebody said, if you can't pray for 3 hours, you can't lead people. I was like, 3 hours, that's a long time. What do you think I did? I called a prayer meeting. I got my mentees. I said, we're praying for 3 hours today. They thought I was holding them accountable. I was holding myself accountable, right? I was I was holding myself accountable, right? If I come up and I say, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna read a book a week. Let's do a book a week for the next 90 days." It's not about them, it's about it's about me. But if I have that with me, we're all gonna do it, right? So the question is, who can go on that journey with you? So if you don't have people who can hold you accountable and you still want to build that, you still need that. And it's not about me being successful. I am not having the experience I'm having now because I'm successful. I am having the experience I'm having now because I did the thing. So I didn't start building communities when I became successful. I started building communities and that made me successful. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I did. I found people in my world, I made them do stuff that I wanted to do. And if, they were doing it, I had to do it too.
That is so clever. Create your own accountability system.
Yeah,
That's what you say. That's key
absolutely.
to do. You
Now,
upgrade, they upgrade.
now you it has to be either people you have influence over and they will follow you, or people who
Okay.
are colleagues, they want what you want. But if it's a
Okay.
person that's like, oh, it doesn't take all that, you can't have that person in your inner circle. The person who believes you're doing too much by setting this goal cannot be in your inner circle because they're a fire extinguisher and you will not escape your environment. So if you're surrounded by fire extinguishers, your fire will go out. Now, if your fire extinguisher is a relative, you can't get, you just create proximity. And when you're with them, you talk about the weather. You don't talk about your goals. I don't talk about my goals with fire extinguishers. I talk to people about my goals who go like, huh? That's all? I'm like, what do you mean that's all? That's the biggest I've ever dreamed. Like, come on, add a zero. So I don't talk to fire extinguishers about my goals at all.
Wow. I'll do that. And then it's the I don't know what to wrap this up, how to wrap this because there's so much to unpack. But Dr. Wood, thank you so much for coming. And a final note for someone who's watching, who's like, whew, that was a whole lot. But I'm excited. I'm I'm motivated, interestingly enough, because they heard you speak. And they're like, well, any words of encouragement for me? Because they feel like starting this in their current world may be a little different.
Yeah,
And so, God, this is new for me.
yeah.
Um, I'm a little nervous. Any words of encouragement while we wrap up?
If I could go back and I could talk to me from 15 years ago, the number one thing I would tell that me is don't be afraid. It works out so much better than you can imagine. Don't be afraid. Fear will show up because every time you step out of your comfort zone, fear shows up. Fear will show up. I'm telling you ahead of time, fear will show up. But when it shows up, don't stop because of it. Don't quit on your dreams because of it. Don't quit on your goals because of it. Um, in the beginning, you're not going at 700 miles per hour, but you're going. And the more you go, the faster you can go. The more you do this, think about this. If you do 90-day sprints with this thing, you're doing this 4 times a year. Over 15 years, you'd have done it 60 times. You'll be so good at it. But there's no way to get better without just doing it first. Like if you do it, you can get better. If you don't do it, the only thing you can do is start. Right? So you lose nothing by start, but when you start, the next time you can do it better. And the third time you can do it even better, and the fourth time even better. And I am telling you, if somebody had told me then that my life will look like what it looks like now, I would not have believed it. I couldn't have dreamed this big. But when you start dreaming, you can dream better. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I would tell me, don't be afraid. Just go for it. I would say, actually, the words I would use is dare every fear. Every fear. When it comes up to say, oh, stop, don't dream, don't become, don't change your mindset, don't do this, don't do like I would dare every fear because on the other side of your fear is a life beyond anything you can imagine. And I know that sounds almost like fairy tale stuff, but Dr. Tolu will tell you, like, this is my experience. And in the community where we're in, this is a daily thing to watch people, and they're like, and it's like, how did we get here? We know what we did, but at the same time, it was so much better than we thought. So please hear me. I know it can seem weird because you're like, oh, she's all the way up there. No, no. I was you 15 years ago. I really was. I wasn't Dr. Tola, when I started my private practice, I couldn't even hire a medical assistant because I'm like, who want to follow me? I don't even know what I'm doing. I didn't hire a medical assistant. I didn't hire a front desk person. I didn't hire, I did all those things by myself, not because I felt, oh, this is the, like I'm trying to be, like I'm managing my money. It wasn't that. I was terrified of hiring a medical assistant. I'm like, why would they follow me? I answered my own phones. Thank you for calling Ivy League Pediatrics. This is Ella. Ella was me. So I'm trying to say, me being here is just an example of what is possible. But oh my goodness, if you'll just start, because in you is greatness, and the whole reason why you're watching this is because there's more to you than what you see right now. The whole reason why you're like, I feel like I'm stuck. If you're where you're supposed to be, you wouldn't feel stuck. You're just like, I'm where I am. The reason you feel stuck is because there's more. And I'm trying to tell you that more, if you will do this process, you will meet that more. It will not be something you're carrying on the inside of you. It'll become something you can see. It becomes your reality. So don't believe the lie that you're where, this is it. It's not it. It's not even close to it. So dare every fear. Dare every fear. Yes, you haven't done it before, so it would make you nervous and all of those things. Dare every fear. This is not a rehearsal. This is life. Like, what is 90-year-old you saying? 90-year-old you is saying, girl, man, come on, let's go. Because 90-year-old you knows better. They know you're not going to have the strength to do it then. This is the time. 90-year-old you is saying, let's get moving. Like, move. Let's go. Let's go. You can become. Dr. Tola, I'll end with this, right? There were things I was afraid of in high school.
Hmm.
Am I afraid of them now? I was like, you were so silly to be afraid of those things. There were things I was afraid of in college. I was like, are you kidding? Like now I'm like, what in the world? There were things that made me stop because I was like, oh, what would this person say? Not who cares? Well, like, who cares? Now, high school, college, not too bad because I'm still young now. I'm 46. But when you're 90, the things you're afraid of now, 90-year-old you is like, what in the world? Why was I afraid of that? That was the reason I didn't chase my dreams. That's the reason I didn't set goals. That's the reason I didn't read the book. That's the reason I didn't switch my mindset. That's the reason I refused to go into that room because I was like, oh, I'll be intimidated. But I could have been uplifted. I could have been inspired. 90-year-old you will be like, what? So I'm telling you now, listen to 90-year-old you and dare every fear right now. Like the time of waiting, let's see what will be. I don't know if I'm the kind of person, all of that stuff. That's over. This is one life, one precious, beautiful life. Use it. If we're wise enough to invest money, we have to be even wiser to invest time because time is more valuable than money. If you lose money, you can get more money. If you lose time, you lost the time. Time is more valuable. We can be better investors of time than we are of better investors of money than we are of time. How do you invest your time? How do you use your time? Be investing it in becoming, investing it in the actions so that you can, every 90 days, you're a different person, unrecognizable to yourself, to your family, to your community, to your industry, to everybody. And you can have that. I'm not here pumping. I'm not giving you fluff. I am telling you the things I've done, the things I've helped hundreds of people do, and it can be you too. It can be you too. So don't believe the lie that you can't. Don't believe the lie, oh, that's for somebody else. Say yes, man. If only one person will root for you, let that be you. Root for you.
Hmm.
Root for you. Be the relentless cheerleader of you. Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all. Ooh.
That's all.
Oh, I'm chewing. Root for you. There's something that you said. Many things you said. You said Ella. was you? That hit you different. Was you? Because who you've become is much more. And you've helped more than hundreds of people, Dr. Una. And that leads me to my rollout question. Where can people find you, Dr. Una, to glean more from your wisdom, to watch you, to be held accountable, to be encouraged virtually, um, and in the community, Doc? Where can we find you, Doc?
Man, where can you find me? Like, okay. So
So
I am on social media quite a bit. So Neka Unachuku on Facebook, Dr. Unachuku on Instagram. For physicians, I run business coaching for physicians. So entremd.com. And so you can find me there talking business, talking shop. And we have communities there as well. And then for people of faith, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Success by the Book, where we talk about things like this all the time. Yeah, lots of places. Lots of places.
trying to catch up. Trying. He's also very YouTube, and then she has podcasts too. You can find that on the podcast. And there's a God in Your Business that was powerful. There's another one with the pediatrician group, but that's not, but it's there. That follow you in other places.
I'm in a lot of places, doing a lot of things. It's one life. That's that thing, right? It's one life.
Oh my goodness. I so appreciate you, Dr. Una. This was big. I'm not just saying this to gas you. I'm going to re-listen to it. And I'm so happy that I have loved ones who are actually in the room with me, listening in on this. It's been a powerful session. I appreciate you. I'm sending you a virtual hug. Thank you for what you do. And I'm going to ask you live. We're going to do this next year, correct? In first quarter, because we need a part two to this. Can't say no because you're live.
Yeah, for you, I will.
Okay. We got it.
For you, I will.
Thank you so much. Man, this was good. Thank you all for watching. I see you. I hear you. I see the comments. I've done a lot of shout outs, a lot of appreciation on the wisdom you dropped that was still distilled through time. I know. And so thank you. Everyone's giving you their love and appreciation. Um, and please, for those who are watching, take this and gift this to people in your life. Also share, I put in the comment ways to connect with Dr. Ona. You want to follow her. She's a person to follow. And I'm taking time to express this because we got to create systems that help us stay quote unquote motivated. Yes. I love you, Dr. Ona. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love
This
you
was
right back. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you for loving your people so much that you would put stuff like this in front of them. Like, what a gift, right? Yeah.
Thank you. All right, everyone. As always, if you or anyone you know is looking for an awesome, a thorough, and caring family physician who will help you live long and well by having conversations like this, even on a Tuesday evening, I'm she. Have a good one. Thank you all. Thank you all. Bye.